Hi, this is my review for the Cabela's Shadow 48-inch recurve bow. The bow that I'm reviewing is the right-hand model. It is also available in the left, and is the 20-pound version, although it is also available in a 25. This bow is manufactured by Samick Sports, and you can purchase it under that brand in the Shadow model as a 48-inch youth longbow. One advantage is that it's available in a broader draw length range of 5-pound increments between 10 and 30 pounds. Probably the major benefit of going with the Samick brand over the Cabela's brand is that it's $50 cheaper. You can purchase this bow online at places like Lancaster Archery. So the Shadow is a full wood bow, right? It's made with purple heart, white ash, white oak, clear fiberglass overlay, and has a right or left grip. So the bow is 48 inches long, which makes it appropriate for people that are 4 feet tall. One aspect that's not listed here is the maximum draw length, which is 24 inches, which means the maximum person height is probably 5 feet tall. So my recommendation is this bow is appropriate for individuals between 4 and 5 feet tall. The draw weights, as I said, are 10, 20, 15, 20, 25, or 30 under the Samick brand, although the Cabela's narrows that choice down to just 20 or 25. And the brace height is ideal between 6 and 6.5 inches. So Cabela's markets it as a recurve, Samick markets it as a longbow, and it is in fact neither. What deflex is the tendency of the bow to bend towards the archer at the handle, and reflex is the tendency of the bow limb to bend away from the archer at the tips. So where you place reflex or deflex is what this diagram shows. It really doesn't matter. The fact remains is that this bow is in fact a reflex longbow. A recurve, the string would actually touch the limb partway down, a couple of inches maybe. So the reflex curve is not enough to classify this as a recurve, but it's not a traditional D shape as a longbow is, so it is neither a longbow nor a recurve. It is a reflex longbow. Here's what the handle looks like up close, and you can clearly see all of the wonderful wood that is used in the creation of this bow, and you can maybe make out the clear fiberglass layer that is over the top of the bow and on the back of the bow. There's a little bit of fiberglass layer there that strengthens the bow. Here's another look at the handle from the side. As you can see, it's really quite a striking looking bow. So here's a close-up of the shelf. I installed some bear hair. It did need a bit of a trim here on the edge so that it could conform to the curvature of the riser, and I used an X-Acto knife to cut that and try to shave it down to give a bit of an angle. And then installing the bear hair was just a matter of sticking it on, cutting around the edges with an X-Acto knife, and then using some shears to trim the hair so that it had the proper angle. Here's another look at the riser with the bear hair installed. So normally the manufacturers will put the model of their bow on the upper limb facing outward for the whole world to see. Well, for whatever reason, whether it's Cabela's being goofy, although in their videos that they have, this is not where the sticker is at. It's not even a sticker actually, it's more like a paint-on job, or maybe it's a sticker or paint underneath the fiberglass. At any rate, it's quite nice, but on my particular bow, it's on the bottom facing in, so that's just weird. I don't know if it's a strange manufacturing glitch or if they're changing how they're doing it, but that's where the position of our sticker is at, where our label is at. So I did install a knock point and some finger savers. My son prefers finger savers. You know, he's 7 and he doesn't want to mess around with a glove or a finger tab, and I want to keep archery fun for him, so I'm fine with him using finger savers for the time being, although I generally wouldn't recommend them for more serious older archers. The knock point is pretty important. That keeps the arrow from sliding up the string, and although it doesn't come with one, all the literature says it does, so that's kind of weird. So we had the Cabela's guy install this knock point, and to do it right, you need tools. You know, knock point pliers and levels, and a bow vise is usually the best way to go, although you can do it using a bow square as well. I would recommend having if you buy it online as opposed to at the store, I'd recommend having your local archery shop install the knock point for you. The finger savers obviously are optional, but they're only $5, and for younger archers I find that they work really great. This is what the string looks like when it's installed on the tip. Okay, so it loops around quite nicely, and as you can see, it doesn't touch the limb at all. One weird thing about the string that comes with this bow is that the loops are both identical in size, which typically an endless loop string, one of the bow loops will be larger so that you can tell which way is up. So seeing as how this bow string is a little chintzy and it doesn't have a larger loop on one side, it'll take maybe get a 50-50 chance to install it the right way up. So if you install it and your serving area seems to be not centered on the riser, just unstring the bow, flip it around, and restring it back up again, and you probably will have it correct. So the front side of the bowstring, as you can see, it's reinforced with some brown Fenwick materials, and that allows fast flight strings to be used with this bow as well. So here's what the brace height looks like on my bow. As you can see, it's sitting right about 7 inches, and it should be between 6 and 6.5. So it's not the end of the world, certainly not on a 20-pound child's bow, but I would like to see it in the right spot. I did try twisting the string to shorten it up a bit to see if I could get that brace height to lower, and it actually didn't change. So I'm not quite sure what the deal with that was. So when this string wears out, I will probably purchase him a string that is maybe 1 inch shorter to see if we can get the brace height down in that 6 to 6.5 inch range. Here's what the bow looks like when an arrow is nocked. This is a GT Youth Lightning arrow. That's usually the arrow that I recommend to people who ask me what arrows do you use for children. For youth, any bow under 30 pounds, this Youth Lightning arrow is great. It's 100% complete when you purchase them, and they usually run around between $5 and $6. They come with these vanes and a glue-in tip and a nock, so you don't have to do anything. You just buy it, make sure your cock vane is facing up, and you're good to go. This is what it looks like when the arrow is nocked up close, so you can see how it rests on the arrow shelf with the bare hair and the plate, and the cock feather is sticking out, and the nock is sitting under the nock point, and the finger saber is not touching the arrow nock. So this is how it looks when it's being shot by my son. He is 48 inches tall and has a 19-inch draw. So as you can see, it's really pretty much perfect for him. So this is the arrow that he shot. As you can see, it landed in the target pretty decently, and this target was set up at about 12 yards away. And when I withdrew the arrow from the target, this is how far it penetrated into the target. So it actually does a pretty decent job. I believe that he could shoot this very easily from 10 yards out. 15 yards out, it's probably fine. And given that his draw length is only 19 inches, I don't believe he's pulling the full 20 pounds, which means 20 yards is probably stretching it a bit. But certainly 10 to 15 yards, this bow is quite good.